ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in. As always, we appreciate it. You missed this last week. Aww. We were on the wrestling experience with Earl. So shouts out to Earl. Thank you for having us on, brother. As always, this guy is your man K Marvel.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy QS.
He got to save his voice. So that is your man, The Big Stretch.
Striker Draco.
And as always, we are your four corners of commentary. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Woo.
So, first and foremost, gents. Well, no. Let's do this. Stretch ain't feeling so hot. So, we're going to try to keep his talking at a minimum, but I don't know if that's going to work. So, like, call it what it is. But once again, thank you guys for joining us. We will always appreciate it. So there's a lot going on, and there's a multitude of things that we actually wanted to touch on today. This last week, these last couple of weeks, there's been a lot. There's been a lot of hurt, a lot of craziness just going on in general, in just the world period and the world of media or entertainment, I should say, and of course in the world of wrestling. So, do y'all want to do the world news first? Or do you want to do one part of the wrestling first?
Probably get the old man out the way.
All right, I'm cool with that. So first and foremost, what's up, Tiff? How you doing, love? Ric Flair. Widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time. But that was quite a time ago. Ric Flair is 82 now?
Is he 82?
Like I thought he was in his 80s. I could be wrong. Maybe he just looked old. Maybe he's just looked old since the 1920s. So
very possible.
Yeah. But Rick is up there in age, and he's wrestling one more match. And well, since I'm talking about it, I already told them I had a very short thing to say. I don't give a shit. Okay, who's next?
Why is this news? Why is this news? Why does there's so much other shit we can talk about? Why are we talking about an old perverted man whose fucking career is over is trying to have a last match? I don't give a shit about him dying in the ring. I don't even care about anybody else's opinion on it. Why is this news?
Or
I would say that no athletic commission should want to clear Ric Flair at this point. This is sad. This is sad, honestly. This is a sad way to see a legendary wrestler go out. This is beyond sad. And this is coming from a guy who's watched Ric Flair from when he was a kid, and which means in my case, there's so much more Ric Flair that I haven't even seen. But This is sad. I don't want to I don't want to see this even from a nostalgia standpoint.
Right.
This has no redeeming value whatsoever.
Yeah, I just looked it up to see, because I thought that they had announced who his opponent was, but this is actually interesting, and this came out today in the afternoon. Ric Flair has a message for fans who think that his return to the ring is a very bad idea. So as we know, Rick does have a pacemaker. He's 73. This is what he said. I just want to address a few things that I think people need to hear. I would say it's 70% positive. But the 30% of people who are worried about me getting in the ring and wrestling again, first of all, I assure you I have been in the ring a lot more than you've been. Oh, than I've shown on social media. I have to get quicker. I have to get faster. I'm in better shape now because I train with Rob, John Cena's personal trainer, than I've ever been in my life in terms of cardio. I've never been a cosmetic wonder boy, so I am going to wear a shirt, but I can assure you that in 2.5 months, I will put on a clinic of what real wrestling should be about.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then later on, I'm sorry to cut you off real quick. He says, later on, he explains that the return of the ring is not about money. He said, you don't see how much money I make from Cameo. That alone, I can live on for the rest of my life. I just made a commercial for Car Shield. My life is good. I don't need the money, but baby, I do like the glory. I'm never going to walk away from it. That's not a good thing. If I have a chance to get myself over, I'm going to do it. That's what I've been doing my whole life. If I can crash in that plane with 2 pilots killed and 2 guys paralyzed and get back on another plane and fly 6 months later, you can do anything. I almost died 4 years ago. I got a pacemaker. I almost died of a blood clot. Killed and yeah. I almost died of a blood clot. I had 4 open heart surgeries in 7 weeks. I'm good to go. I will decide on when I want to go. So this is not about money. This is about me doing what I've done my whole life. And he said that he also has approval from his heart doctor. Yeah. Apparently, they're saying there's enough scar tissue around the pacemaker that it will hold. So if he does take a bump, he should be okay. But
why?
Yeah.
But why? Why?
I'm not okay with this.
It's ridiculous. Why?
With this.
But yeah, so Cracker, you got something else?
No, I honestly fuck it. Like, why is this a match? Why is this happening? You saying you want to be Heat Wrestling? Like, dude, it's over. Maybe people in Nashville will come see it because people in Nashville don't really got much to do. But like,
yeah,
come on.
I do not know. But cool. So that was that one.
Yep.
Let's talk about something that happened. This was a few weeks ago now, right?
2 weeks ago or a week ago.
So we're gonna talk about the Buffalo Massacre. I mean, I don't even know what to say. As we know, there was a shooting in a supermarket, right? And there were 10 people killed and a few more people injured. This was done by a white guy,
18-year-old,
young white kid. Yep. There's a video about that shows it's kind of like a body cam style. He has.
It was live streamed on Twitch.
Oh, there you go. The barrel of the gun had the word nigger on it. Yeah, I mean, obviously we know this was racially motivated. I mean, that's I know that doesn't need to be said, but needed to be said. But the worst thing about this, oh, by the way, and I don't have the names, and I tried to get them, but I just want to give my condolences to the twins. So, Mom, when you show them, they know. They actually lost 3 people in that shooting.
Wow.
And I actually just found out that there's a martial arts family member of mine that was killed in a shooting in California.
Mm.
So my condolences to everyone, period, who lost someone during everything going on. Um, but yeah, the worst thing. I mean, obviously, the worst thing is the deaths, but the fact that these white people continue, and I'm not talking about all, but I'm just saying these white supremacists, these terrorists, let's call them what they are, um, continue to get away with their lives while people of our complexion, um, of all races of our complexion, continue to die needlessly. It's, I mean, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm not, but it's frustrating. So, gents.
Well, it's the actions of a guy who is a unabashed white supremacist because he's like most. Well, let me not say most. I don't want to say that, but like some disenfranchised young males who happen to be white uh, is easily misinformed about some things in society and misled, and it's very easy to mobilize them and give them a us versus them mentality. And they have
Mm-hmm.
pent up anger, which is misplaced anger, number one, first and foremost. And I'm not saying this as an excuse in any way, shape, or form. It's misplaced anger, and he's easily by, his reasoning was because of something called replacement theory, which
Mm.
is completely idiotic. That there's some covert um, system in place by government officials to basically eliminate oh, white society as in the white race, quote unquote, as we know it. Which, considering that most government officials are white, is absolutely fucking stupid. Which is why I said that it's misinformed and misplaced anger and hatred because
Mhm.
they're angry at a lot of self uh, shortcomings and self insecurities and wish to scapegoat and blame that on other people. Much like you know other white supremacists and Nazi and neo-Nazi like movements, such as you look at what happened in World War II with the Holocaust and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's basically what happened in Nazi Germany. Germans had a lot of economic problems, and Hitler, given his insecurities and you know um, inefficiencies about himself, decided to scapegoat Jewish people and blame a lot of the problems that were happening in German society, such as their economy, and blame it on Jewish people. And the plan was made to exterminate them. But with this individual, it's sad. It's absolutely sad that we live in a society in which people can't go, minorities and people can't go to a supermarket without being possibly shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's absolutely nerve wracking. It's absolutely sad. And the fact that this little douche, you know, white supremacist, thinks that
Mm.
these things are real when it's 100% bullshit and being echoed by these talking heads and stuff like that. You know, the fact that they could be so easily influenced and so easily mobilized to violence is scary enough. It's an absolute sad situation. I can't. My condolences go out to the families. You know, I can only hope and pray that things get better.
I know this. All I can say is, condolences to the 10 people that were killed in the Buffalo supermarket. Um, hearts go out to the other shootings from on other states. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
um, I don't think there always will be an ongoing question to wonder that we'll probably never get the answer to of whether is it why are black people actually hated this much?
Mhm.
Why are we hated so much? Why is it that it's like still to this day it seems that that old constitutional edict of the 3/5 of a person still somewhat somehow exists in present time. We'll probably never know. I don't think I'm ever gonna get that answer in this lifetime, probably. But you have to realize how much this hate is so deeply rooted for one person, for a person of color, that an 18-year-old is even to come up with a manifesto to even basically like give out what's set out exactly what he was going to do, and basically like stating that if he's able to like, if he gets basically saying that if he was locked, he failed, or whether if he was released, or if it doesn't go to trial and he's ended up released, it just means that it's just another day for him to fight.
Mm.
Whereas then if he's locked, it's if he was able to get convicted and he's sent to prison, then it just means that he's failed, and it goes on to the next revolutionary to come in and takes and to continue the job. You have to really wonder, like, black people can't go to church to pray, black people can't
Sure.
go to the club, black people can't enjoy a wedding night, black people can't buy a pack of cigarettes, black people can't go into the liquor store or even buy anything from the supermarket. Black people can't even be in their own home with their significant other.
Dude, we can't sleep.
You cannot sleep.
We
Obviously
can't
you
sleep in
can't.
our own beds. Like,
Obviously you can't. Obviously you cannot start. You can't even start your own revolution or basically be a revolutionary to help bring community together. You can't do any of these things without some white nationalists coming in and putting a damper on things because they just feel that black people don't deserve to live. They don't deserve to live the same as they do. We don't they feel that we just don't deserve it. And more and more it just keeps getting it just keep getting evident that everyone always used to keep thinking that, oh, racism was probably brushed under the rug. It was over, and it wasn't over. It was never over. It was just covert. But now, as you can see, it's just more. It's clearly more out in the open now, and I don't know when we're going to have that answer for it. I don't. You don't know if when the possibilities of us like banding together and basically trying to fight back.
Hmm.
Who's even to say that that's even going to solve anything? Because again, these these are individuals that clearly just hate us, hate
Yep.
everything about us, hate everything that we to deal with us, and they already know that they can do this and basically get away with it because the same people that are in power in the justice system are just like them. So it's just like a running on game. It's just something that just keeps going in circles. They just don't. It's never. It's almost like you looking at this shit. It's like, oh well, it happened again, and we're becoming so numb to all of these things, to these things that happen to us. We're becoming numb to it because it's the same thing. It's the same scenario. Takes a couple of us, we die, we get killed mercilessly, we get killed in such an unjust way. It gets a little bit of national attention, goes to trial. 9 times out of 10, most cases, they get off. Then if
Yep.
they don't get off, they get a little bit of time in jail until, and it makes us happy until the next massacre happens again.
Hmm.
And it's just a cycle that keeps on repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. And it's almost like this is like the plan for right now. They're just going to make it keep on repeating and repeating until we're just basically wiped out. Because that's basically what their true purpose is for the manifestos that they keep dropping in a different form. That they're not going to stop until we're wiped out.
Yep.
And you just have to like look at it and it's just like, well, it's the only thing you can say to yourself is just go with God and just hope to survive. That's all you. And it's sad that that's what you have to say. It's
Hmm.
sad that it has to get to that point.
The system is not made for us. It never was. Um, to to have seen the video in its entirety and see what a horrible individual get to even drive around in his car and walk out and do what he did, to even to the end of the video, approaching another fellow white person and saying I'm sorry and leaves them alone as they scream in fear. It's sickening. Why can't people of my complexion, why can't people of color, why can't black people just live freely? We're not bothering anybody. We're existing. Whether I go to a store or whether I work at a store or whether I'm doing what I can to survive, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm harming somebody else. So why am I looked at as, dirtier than the dirt on the floor? Why am I looked at as the bottom of a sole of a sneaker or any shoe for that matter? Why is my carcass the one that's being rated of organs? Why am I being shut up because I'm not like them? I may not have their privilege, but you're shutting me up because I have an opinion. Yet we have all over this so-called free country that we live in, we're having women's rights taken away. Abortion rights are up in the air. Voting rights are up in the air. You can't be black. You can't walk outside and be black. It's a crime. The people who are here to protect us are just as bad as the people that are trying to kill us. So who do we look out for? Who's looking out for us? And then they say and you have all types of different types of people whom I may not mention who say, oh, every time they want to play the race card, oh, not everything's about race. No, things are about race. If you are so colorblind to not see what's going on, then you're just as big as a problem as everybody else in that situation. If I can't go to a job and voice my opinion, or if I can't go to a job and walk out because I'm not feeling what they're giving me, that's my God-given right. Whether you believe in God or not, that's your right. That's your freedom of choice. That's your free will to stay where you want to stay, go where you want to go, and deal with who you want to deal with. But for me to walk in front of you and say, hey, I don't like you, give me a reason. What's the reason you don't like me? Why is it so hard to exist as a person of color in the United States of America? Do you hear any of this crazy shit going on in any other countries? Maybe not openly. Maybe not openly.
Mass shootings are an inherently American thing. And you don't hear about stuff like that in other countries.
So why is it that this supposed country of freedom has so much issues with being free? We have a constitution that nobody wants to follow. We have a constitution that these people are trying to change.
I mean, the Constitution wasn't meant for us to begin with. So
understandable, but
even people trying to follow it, which I completely agree with you. I just wanted to say it like that because we all of us have said it at this point. That whole 3/5 shit. As much as it is bullshit, this is how it started in the Constitution. No. So fuck that too. At least that part.
I understand.
There's been in this country alone. There's been about 198 mass shootings in this country alone. 198. This country's history has had over almost close to 200. mass shootings.
Helmed by who?
I mean,
It's very
Sally, yeah, but
it's more than obvious of who it was, how
Of
the
course.
individual. But it's kind of a growing shame that we live in a country. Clearly, one, we live in a country where guns are so heavily like worshipped and praised.
mhm.
We don't like to really talk about where the majority of these mass shootings are almost going to.
Right.
Who are they caused by? Who are they caused by? Who are they done to? Like it literally, the history shows it every time. And I just I'm at once again, like I said, I'm just at the point of being over it because
Mhm.
more and more every day, it's not a different scenario. It's the same. It's the same song and dance. It's pretty much the same musical number with it's just a different guest.
Yep.
It's a different guest, but it's of the same color. And I don't know when I don't know when the veil is going to be brought up from everybody's eyes and when they're going to finally be able to actually get it and actually understand it that once again, yeah, this country has never been for you. This country has never been for you as a land of the free. It's never been a land of equal opportunity for you. Even when you see that more and more of your brothers and sisters are dying here in these streets for no, all just for living, they can't even shop for free. They can't even not shop free. They can't even shop in peace.
I'm on the record recording.
I don't know when, don't know, don't know when y'all are gonna like get it, see it for what it really is. Like, don't know. I don't know how many more times you have to see it, unless unfortunately it happens to your own. Unless it unfortunately happens to your children,
Hmm.
your loved ones, your parents, your brothers and sisters, your actual blood related brothers and sisters. I don't know how many times when other folks are telling y'all that y'all are literally living in a racist society and these terrorists, these nationalists are literally out here to wipe you out. Y'all just sitting here thinking like, well, it's not happening to me, so it doesn't matter. I don't, and that's I just don't know when everybody's going to be able to get it, and when everyone's able to get it, when they're going to finally be able to sit there, get together, and be like, yo, what are we actually going to do to stop this, to end this?
It's a good
Like,
question, isn't it?
shape up for real, shape up. It's just like it's not a joke anymore. It's really not.
It's never been a joke.
It's
You
never
know what
been
I
a joke.
mean? It's.
And it's not to say like it's not a joke, but like seriously,
I know.
when
I
it's
know what you're saying.
nah, it's not to you. It's just in
Oh,
general. It's like yo, like seriously, when like it's right in front of you, like stop sitting here and like taking it for like with such being nonchalant or apathetic about it.
Mhm.
You just take this shit seriously. Like this isn't funny. It's not funny. It's not a game.
Yeah.
It's this is real life.
yeah. But once again, rest in power everyone who passed away. Um, with all of the events recently, and our prayers and condolences are with the families and friends of the victims.
Mhm.
Um, so May 13th, which was Lovey's birthday, and the day after was where is it? That guy's birthday. But something big for the hip hop community dropped. Kendrick Lamar dropped a new album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Now, I'm gonna start it like this. There's been a lot of back and forth about this album.
Mhm.
It's been out for it'll be a week tomorrow. And we've all listened to it back to front. Not yet. Okay.
I still didn't listen to the latter half. I think I'm still on like track 13, but for majority of what I've heard.
I
Okay.
had I had five letters intrude my life. That has pretty much prevented me from doing what I want to do right now.
Touche.
So right now I haven't gotten a chance to it, but I've heard good things about it. So I kind of dedicated my weekend to it, honestly. Like this is okay. I don't want to stray off path too much, so I'll say this: I haven't had like, given the circumstances, obviously I wouldn't want to be sick, but I haven't had this much time to myself in quite some time. So I don't really know what to do with myself.
It's so
Yep.
true. So true.
You know, I told myself, like, okay, obviously I'm not going to be in work tomorrow. So from Friday on, I'm going to give this album like the chance it deserves.
That's right, because when I come home and I put the laundry up and everything, as I'm getting ready to fly out, I got you on 2K. The thing is, some people have been downplaying this album because it's not what they're used to from. It's not what people are used to hearing from Kendrick. Now, me personally, you get something different every album.
Just like Tyler.
Yeah. Same thing with Cole. You know what I mean? Hove was the same way. The thing is that this is a different style of album that he's coming across now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a different type of speech that he's using. This isn't just necessarily about just the strength of Black people or the story of growing up in a rough neighborhood. This is about overcoming your demons. This is about fighting your fears, and at least this is my take. This is about you realizing your faults and not overachieving, and achieving goals and accomplishing more than what you thought that you could be. Like, this album is insane. Like, first off, Kendrick's wordplay is always dope, so we ain't even got to get into that. You know what I mean? Kendrick will never let you down. Right.
No.
Sounds like a presidential campaign. And Kendrick will never let you down.
Never let you down.
But the album's crazy. Like, I don't know. Q, what you think?
I mean, obviously, I'm one for. You ain't gonna hear nothing bad from me. I'm a Kendrick stand. This is a Kendrick Lamar stand account, so no matter what, there's no slander involved or allowed here.
Yep. Here with you.
Bottom line, from start to finish, the album is enjoyable. You always get a different point of view, and it's obvious with this album. You could clearly see that Kendrick was on the more of the level of transitional growth. Especially he's going from different focuses, and this album was to show perspective, and he showed different perspectives from all rounds of why he took a little bit of time off because he had COVID, because he was over here listening to the Dr. Sebi segments and all of that. He still ended up catching COVID anyways. He talked about the point in time where he gave perspective on him, like dealing with white women when he was with his fiance at the time, and how they got past that. Show different perspective of. Even though there's one song in there where it's giving more of an ode and homage to actual toxic relationships.
We cried together.
That track is bananas.
Not or first listen, the track is okay, but then it's like when you listen, and I think it all depends on the time that you listen to it.
Yeah,
when you listen to it,
when
you listen to it again and again, you see it as like, oh wow, okay, this is cringeworthy. Oh, okay, this is very relatable because everybody has been through it at some point in time. But you see, he gives a different type of view and perspective through Auntie's Diary, where he even talks about his uncle turned into aunt. His uncle transitioning, and him using the F word as like a different, as he was always using it as a term. It was part of his vocabulary, but then seeing what his uncle turned into what his aunt had to go through into her transition to be what she is today, how he had to he had to grow from that, and how it caused those two to both not speak to each other for a good point in time.
Yep.
And then, it that in turn actually ended up bringing them closer as well. And that goes to show is just, you know, a lot of people were upset about that song. They were upset about it because they didn't like the fact that it was heard. But then it's like you have to also give him grace with that because there's so many others just that is just like Kendrick that use that word in their vocabulary. And as they've gotten older and as they've grown, they realize, no, this isn't the right thing to do. I can't be talking about people like this. I have to change a group, change
I
my
mean,
way.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure all of us have said it at one point or another. You know,
But
whether it was
Yep.
meant to be like
but again, always
killer or
remember,
not.
that's just it's perspective. It's all perspective at the end of the day.
Perspective and words change and evolve over time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I was listening to, I can't remember what it was, but it was talking about the 90s and where we were as a society as far as like the language and the vernacular. It was one of Bill Maher's like stand-up specials, actually. I was listening to it earlier this morning. You know, and you know, where we were in the 90s, you know, that's the past. We can't hold that against people,
Right.
you know, with today's standards. Like, I admit I've said and done a lot of things. Like, if I look back at it with the eyes that I have now, it's like, oh my God, like, I can't believe I said that or thought that,
Right.
like, about people or whatever have you.
Mhm.
To hold that again, like, to hold today's standards against yesterday's language it doesn't help anyone. You know,
That's a great way to put it.
like, you know, it's like, how dare I? And Bill Maher made a good point. How dare anyone be holier than thou? Like, they would be Nostradamus. Like, oh, I can't believe people used those languages back then. Like, oh, of course, you would have never fallen into like the same fucking tropes and, you know, use the same words and stuff. Like, that was just society. You know, I'm not saying that it's right by any means. You know, you look back at like, especially something like the F word. You know, I don't use it in any way, shape, or form. But back in the 90s and stuff like that was common, like vernacular, especially on the street. Yeah, like basketball was something like, you know, somebody like, you know, you follow them and you don't agree with it, stop acting like it, you know, use that word, or stop acting like another word I don't use, bitch. But you know, it was common back then, and it's a sign of growth, you know, to look at those words now and say, like, you know, that wasn't okay.
For all the people who were looking for club bangers and stuff like that, you have those songs on the album. You have club bangers on the album. N95 being one of them. You have club bangers on the album. Please cut this bullshit out about we need to have the little Yachties, the what was it, NBA Youngboy. We don't need that music all the fucking time. I'm very sick and tired of how fickle people are.
I hate that narrative too. That's a good
Whether it is music, society, wrestling, life in general, stop being so fucking fickle. Not everything is for everybody. Understandable. But you have to learn to appreciate the art that each artist is trying to give. I bring up Tyler the Creator in terms of evolution, in terms of differences on every album, because it got to a point where Tyler's performing Igor at a concert and somebody's asking him to play Yonkers. Why the fuck are you asking him to play Yonkers? He's not that same person anymore. He's not going back to that track anymore. So I just break that up to preface what I'm trying to say. The album is a tale of evolution of Kendrick Lamar. He has grown up. He hasn't had an album out in over 5 years. He's gone through so many different things throughout those years. And to come from years of writer's block, years of dealing with COVID, all the changes in the world, all these shootings, all this bullshit happening as a black man in today's society, his album is bringing you through the motions of what he had to go through as a man, what he had to go through as an artist. And you're seeing it throughout the whole album. Not specifically just him, but if you listen to The Heart Part 5, he's talking about the culture. He's talking about black culture as a whole. He's talking about the gun violence the toxic toxic relationships that we have, all the bullshit and negativity that we gloss over or we don't check on. This is all stuff that's being addressed in that album. So whether you give it a chance or not is your business. But I know as a person who listens to conscious rap and listens to a bit of everything that I appreciate what he's doing. If you look at other artists, you're seeing them do the same exact thing. And if you want somebody that's one dimensional, one lane all the time, that's how it's going to stay. People don't agree that he put Kodak Black on the album because Kodak Black is considered a racist, not racist, sorry, a rapist, and other, darker tone things that he's
and just
gone
trash.
through. Right. But I'm just saying in general, he made a choice to put somebody on the album. He put somebody on the album. But the album is controversial. It's supposed to be controversial. It's supposed to be in depth, and it's supposed to be, whether you like it or not, it's something he put out.
But the same, he says it in tracks as well. He said it even on Savior. He's not your savior.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He'll give you.
I'm not the image that you want me to be.
I'm not your savior. He says the same thing. Cole will give you something that's empowered. He's also not your savior.
Yep.
Future's gonna sit there and talk to you about getting to a bag. He's not your savior. Like Braun is gonna be that guy on the court that's literally gonna bring all those accolades. He's also not your savior. He's literally telling y'all to like not stop looking to us as like we're these saviors.
Idolizing niggas.
We're not idolizing us. We're not. We're literally not who we are to you. We're not.
I just let's put it like this. I think if people outside of the Black community want to understand us, listen to this album. Real quick, I just threw this in here because this happened today and it was breaking news. Stephanie McMahon is taking a leave of absence from the WWE to focus on her family, as she should. As you know, Triple H had a bad heart attack recently. Had a pacemaker put in recently. Had to retire, from in-ring competition, and I'm pretty sure all of that takes a toll on her family. So she has every right to. I'm pretty sure she's done a lot for this business. I'm pretty sure. We know she has done a lot for the company and for the business, for the talent, and let's be honest, for us fans. So I just wanted to say that I think it's well deserved. And go take care of your family. Like, family first, always.
Yep.
Did anybody want to touch on it at all?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Everyone thinks that Stephanie stepping down is like, oh, like, does no one see there's a problem going on over here? No, it's not, because they even came off, like I said, they came off and even said that she's just taking time off. And a lot of these instances, people may not realize it, but your boss doesn't actually tell you when they're taking time off. They don't have to tell you that. The fact that everybody found out that she was taking time off just from her tweet alone is just, she just made, it's her decision that she decided to make probably in that minute. And if she just wants, as she says, she wants to tend and take care of her family, she's earned that right to do so. Like, this is someone who's literally been working with the WWE since she was 18. If anything, she's literally given so much of her life to this business. She's given most of her life, for pretty much her livelihood, to this company. So if now she wants to like sit here and take time to spend time and take care of her daughters, really like take care of her daughters like she was already doing, but really stay and see how it is to be a full-time mom. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong with being a full-time mom and wife if that's what she chooses to do. If she wants to take a step back and actually make sure her husband is okay, she's earned that right. Like, as well as Triple H has earned that right to retire and be want to like actually stay home and be a family man, she's earned that right to. You don't want to take care of her husband, take care of her daughters. She's earned it. They're going to be all right. I think she was before her title was like, she was like the social media like brand ambassador of the company.
Right.
Chief brand officer.
Yeah. Chief brand officer.
Brand officer.
They could do fine without her for a couple of months.
Oh yeah.
It's in good hands.
Mm-hmm. They've got plenty hands in the pot.
So right. I always tell people with Stephanie McMahon, she's to be a powerful woman like that in a male-dominated industry. Kudos to her. I have nothing but respect for the ability that she has, because corporate jobs come with a lot of different politics, and being a female is not always easy to navigate that, regardless of whether she's the boss's daughter or not. Which I will also say this: if you think that she only has this job because she's Vince McMahon's daughter, and meanwhile you can't hold down the job at a 7-Eleven, shut up.
Shit.
Shut up. Like, honestly. And she was still fucking up, she would not have this job, knowing Vince McMahon. So it's like, if she wants to take time off, she has more than her fucking right to take time off.
Right.
We're in an age in which we implore people to fucking take care of themselves more than ever. So if she feels like she needs to tend to her family now, do it.
Physical health. All important things. Gotta take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Look, let's see if I can word this properly.
Dickheads.
Dickheads is a nice way to put it. All you overly privileged fucks who think that people cannot take a break or do something involving your family, choosing themselves first over your entertainment, over your opinions. Fuck off, man. Let these people do what they have to do. It's not that serious. Yeah. If I'm working and I'm the hardest worker at the job, and I say, hey, I'm gonna take a couple days off to myself, I don't owe you guys shit. You have other workers at your job, let them take over for a little bit. Ease some of the pressure off of somebody. It's okay. We know you love to see people. We know you love to put celebrities on this pedestal, and you can't imagine them doing something for themselves. Get over it. It's time enough. Good luck to the McMahon family. Good luck to Stephanie and Triple H and their children. Enjoy yourselves.
The Levesque.
Yeah. The Levesque family, excuse me. Or the McMahon Helmsley faction.
But yeah, so there goes that one. Mike, why don't you take it away for this one, brother?
All right, so this week, if you are interested in anything on streaming services, if you are interested in anything on broadcast TV, there are major broadcast companies. We have NBC, which has Peacock, which also has Bel Air, which also has WWE, which also has... Yes?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say real quick, because I hear it way too often. Can we please stop calling it the cock? Please. It's just wrong.
Look, you're gonna have to tell Skeet Davidson to please stop calling it the cock.
Yeah, first off, I'm not talking to a dude named Skeet Davidson. That's number one. Number two.
Sounds like a backsliding pimp from the 70s.
Don't it?
Skeet Davidson, like this is
Pete Davidson made the joke at the upfront for NBC this week as well. So that's why I said that. But yes, so major broadcast companies like NBC, like WB / the CW, CBS, Disney, which is ABC, and ESPN and whatnot, they've all had their upfronts. And upfront is basically these companies showing the world what they have in store for the year coming or a couple years ahead of time. So let's just get NBC out of the way. Young Rock got renewed for another season, so Young Rock is not on its Tuesday slot now, but is actually will be competing head to head with WWE SmackDown on Fridays. So if
What?
you are a fan, right,
Which means it will die.
right.
That's stupid.
And I could have used that as a segue, but we'll get to The Rock just in a little bit. This Is Us, I believe, is in its last season or is about to end very soon. Bel Air got renewed for season 2, possibly season 3. We don't know. And a bunch of other shows, but NBC wasn't really the big news. So let's move on. The CW, which is restructuring after the whole after the whole WB Discovery merger, the CW decided to cancel basically everything they had of the DC shows. And right, so we're only getting to keep Superman and Lois. The Flash is possibly ending. We don't know.
Well, I thought this was the last season anyway.
10. No, they said that season 10 is coming, but
What the hell?
they don't know if it's going to be the final season. What else? We have the newly premiering Gotham Knights, which looks like a shit show. Honestly, I don't understand why they want to make this show, and we're not using any of the Bat family. We're using odds and ends.
Wait, what?
Right, exactly. We're using odds and ends of Gotham, random people that we don't fucking know, or some random relation.
Who's the dude? The guy and the girl who got they were like more recent with the gray and blue who like went up against Batman and Robin recently. Gotham Girl and
oh, you're talking about the superpower people that it was.
Yeah, I can't remember their names, but are they gonna be in it? Because that's gonna be dumb.
I'm not too sure what they're doing with it, but I could read a synopsis, but it's honestly not worth my breath. But basically, just like how the game is coming out, it's following the death of Batman in Gotham, and these kids decide to pick up and take up the mantle and decide to try and help Gotham return to its former glory. And then we have Stargirl, which is based off of the old Justice League of America stories, and that is getting renewed as well. But in better news, HBO Max is getting a lot of content, one being an adult version of Velma.
It's weird.
We are getting I believe Velma was Jewish, if I remember correctly, right? Jewish or something of the sort, right? We are getting Mindy Kaling of yes, you're right. I just recently heard this too, so I was surprised.
What about her being Jewish?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily that she's Jewish, but I've never heard a nationality.
You know what I found out the other day? Believe it or not, and this is totally off topic. On Sesame Street, Bert and Ernie, they're supposed to be a Puerto Rican and Dominican.
Really?
Wait, what?
But now that you say it,
they're supposed to be a Puerto Rican and a Dominican, respectively.
Who's a Puerto Rican?
I think
Bert.
Bert's the lighter.
Bert has to be the Puerto Rican.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
He has to be. There's no way Ernie is not the Dominican in the group.
There was an old show that came on VH1 when they showed more than just reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
That was called Ego Trips Race-O-Rama, which looked back at race and media representation, and they would give out the supposed inspiration for the nationalities behind TV characters, and they were supposed to be a Puerto Rican and a Dominican, respectively. I found that out the other day.
Wears no socks. I'm telling you, Ernie doesn't wear socks.
Just makes sense.
Dominican shit.
But
Shout out to my brothers, by the way.
And sorry, I missed something for the CW before we get to HBO Max again. We are getting a Supernatural prequel show, which I think is fucking cool. And it is called Winchester. It is actually about the Winchester parents when they were teens and growing up. And they say it's supposed to be like like a drama romance type of show. Has a little bit of comedy, but it still has supernatural elements as well in it. And
Are they
from
are they
listening,
still going through with Batgirl?
Batwoman's canceled,
No, Batgirl.
as in the movie.
As it was a movie? I thought they were
It's a
doing a
movie. It
TV
wasn't
show.
a show. It was a movie. The movie is still
Oh.
going. The movie's still going to happen. It is in the Batman universe in
Yeah,
terms
no,
of
and it has,
Robert
and
Pattinson.
she's rocking like the purple and yellowish
I believe
style
it's the
suit.
'90s style suit.
Oh, I thought it was the newer one. The one with the like it looks like with the button flaps.
But she
Kinda.
has the cowl and stuff like that, so it's
That's
gonna be
cool.
interesting. But yes,
Let's get to
that
the fun
is
part.
gonna be a movie. Disney's almost here. I'm sorry. Rick and Morty's getting an anime.
What?
Yes. So there were
Sorry,
Adult
I've
Swim
never watched
had
it.
a few Adult Swim had a few shorts at a time where they would show Rick and Morty in different styles. And it used to happen like I think it's during Toonami or maybe Adult Swim Sundays, but they used to drop a short every week. And there was an anime short that apparently they set to actually have a whole season of. So I thought that was cool. Um, and I guess maybe the majority of the DC stuff is getting renewed. I didn't really get to check. But let's get to the big news, because the Marvel heads just want to hear Marvel shit. So
Hell yeah.
Biggest sport.
Maybe one.
Disney had their upfront, and sorry, the WB upfront also had AEW at the forefront as well, and Red Velvet was actually the face of AEW for the upfront.
They cancel all those goddamn shows. They ain't got shit left.
What, you mean CW?
Yeah,
the CW ain't got shit. Walker got renewed. Riverdale got renewed.
CW is about to be the new UPN. Watch.
Right?
I mean, yeah, they're about to get sold again.
Well, I mean, that's how it started, wasn't it? Wasn't it a merger between?
No. Oh yeah,
it was
WB.
And WB.
And WB, yeah.
Because it's owned by CBS. It's honestly owned by CBS. But they're selling it to a company called Nexstar, which they said is dedicated to
the local channel version of BET.
Right.
Jersey BET.
Right.
Caucus, New Jersey. Sean Mooney, a former anchor on UPN 9, by the way. Sean Mooney of WWF fame. I forgot about that. I remember seeing him there as a kid. And I was like, oh, Sean Mooney on this.
You took it back. Holy shit. Wow.
Yes. Him and Brenda Blackman.
Yes, Brenda Blackman.
She's still around.
She's
still around. What channel she on, but she's still around.
She's still around. The sports guy.
Wait, hold on. Sean Mooney, like the failed GM Sean Mooney?
What do you mean the failed GM Sean Mooney?
Oh no, I'm thinking somebody else. Sorry, I'm thinking that other dude. That.
No, you're thinking of Mike Adamley.
Yeah, nobody hated him.
Not him.
He was the worst.
Not him.
I'd rather Bob Barker.
Sean Mooney was his backstage interviewer in WWE.
Oh yes, yeah.
Backstage interviewer, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Now, so let's get to the big part that everybody wants.
Disney.
I didn't get to see what Disney had, but I seen the Marvel side of things, and we are getting confirmation of Miss Marvel very soon. We got our first trailer of. That's a little too much, sir.
It's PJ. Shut up.
And
there's no kids watching.
Yeah, but
we got the announcement of Miss Marvel. Well, Miss Marvel's coming out, I think, what they say, June, July, something of that sort.
I'll tell you right now. Got it
and while you're checking that, we got our first trailer of She-Hulk. I don't know if everybody's seen the trailer.
Yep.
But Tatiana Maslany is the head actress of the show, and she is going to kill it, because why not bring an Emmy winner who won an Emmy for a show about multiple personalities? Why not have her head up the show? I think that's awesome.
Miss Marvel is June 8th.
June 8th. Okay. So not much gap in time from Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan Kenobi is debuting next week, if you are interested. Next week Friday, excuse me.
I still need to watch Boba.
What else did we get? We got more news about Secret Invasion. We've got a confirmation of the Daredevil show is
Yes,
actually
sir.
coming out, season 4, and it will be a soft reboot. I'm not too sure what other characters we're getting besides Kingpin, but maybe we get Foggy, maybe we get Karen Page. I'm not too sure, but
Maybe
we'll
we get
see.
Luke and Jessica back.
Possible. I
You
mean,
see, I'm obviously leaving
I
somebody
mean,
out.
they may be in the She-Hulk show because Daredevil's in the She-Hulk show.
It could be.
So
Could be.
we'll see. And I think that's about it for now, at least for off the top of my head. Not much real big confirmation.
That's still pretty solid.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
if you still want more news, definitely look them up online. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of bigger things as well, but look them up online.
yep. All right. Oh, anybody? Sorry. All right. So let's get to the main event. So this past Monday night on Raw, there was supposed to be a 6-pack challenge with 6 of the very talented women in the WWE, and something happened. Our women's world tag team champions walked into John Laurinaitis' office, put their tag titles on the desk, and proceeded to leave the building, which then made them scramble and do Becky Lynch, pull the trigger with Becky Lynch versus Asuka, winner facing Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title, and that was Asuka. But the biggest news is that Sasha Banks and Naomi both walked out on Monday Night Raw. There has been many different stories circling around the internet. We originally, so the WWE put out a statement saying that basically they said that there were women in this match that they felt unsafe working with, and because of that, they left when things weren't changed. Then there was a source who was close to both Sasha and um, and Naomi, who basically said that they were upset about the way creative was handling their title reign. Like, yes, they had matches for the title since winning at WrestleMania, and yeah, they've put on good matches so far, and they've won. But the problem is the story. The problem is that there is no story for them for these titles. Also, the other thing is that it's been told that one was supposed to face Bianca, the other was supposed to face Ronda, and both was supposed to lose. The problem with that, and this part is me. The only reason I can see that and them disagreeing. Oh, also that not only were they going to be a part of that, but uh, they also were not going to defend the titles until Money in the Bank. But like I said, the problem I see it basically being that for me it's hard to fault them for feeling that way when you win a title, you want to be in a story first and foremost. You know what I mean? You want to be involved in storylines, you want to progress. Them wrestling these two for the sake of losing does nothing for the women's tag titles. Not when they could go and start. And I think that was the other thing that was being said, that they were wondering why they're not using this match to be thrusted into a storyline with Doudrop and Nikki Ash, but it's to have them face the two singles champions. That was an issue. So I don't fault them for being upset. Um, there's a lot of shit talking going on. Like always, we expect it. Blame social media for a lot of it. Um, but do I think things could have been handled? I don't know, because they said they went multiple times to Vince and had a conversation, multiple conversations, and there was nothing to show for it. So yeah, I think this is I think this is all depending, and we haven't heard anything from Sasha nor Naomi yet. So as of right now, we can only follow what we see from sources and the statement that the WWE put out. Gentlemen, floor is yours.
I don't like the do what you're told like energy that I've seen like on the internet regarding like, you know, them voicing their frustration with creative or whatever have you, and the whole, you work for me, you're supposed to do what you're told type energy behind that. Especially because we're in an age where you look at professional sports, for example, where we encourage athletes to, if situations are not working for them, to speak up about
Mhm.
the situations and to take initiative to try to improve those situations. Obviously, we weren't there, so I don't know. Like, we can only go off of the report. So I don't know what Vince's response was, if that was reported or whatever have you. So it's like, depending on his response, if they're sitting there trying to improve their situation, why get mad at that?
Right.
Didn't work for them. They made it clear that it didn't work for them. So they removed themselves from the situation. We live in an era, if this happened in any other sport, and if these weren't women, I could almost 100% guarantee that the consensus would be on the side of the athlete.
Yep.
For example, if a player that is a superstar
Mhm.
is on a losing franchise
Yep.
and the franchise is not doing what they can to improve, isn't it usually widely accepted when the superstar starts to sit out games so he
Yep.
can improve his
Yep.
situation to go elsewhere? This is the same
Mm-mm-mm.
situation. So if you can sympathize with somebody in another sport
You
that
could
does the same thing, you can understand what's going on in this situation, regardless of the fact that they're women, regardless of the fact that they're African American women.
Regardless of the fact that they are in a sport that is predetermined.
Thank you. It's not even really a sport.
So
To
being
be
that it's
quite honest.
predetermined, I could give my creative input on how I want the match to go,
Right.
regardless of what the result is.
Excuse me.
So my whole thing with this whole situation is they're champions. Of course they get to say what the fuck they want to do with their championship reign. If it's short lived, that's okay. That doesn't matter. But they are champions. They are well within their right to try and want to build a women's tag division.
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
how are you telling me, oh, Sasha's a bitch?
Mm.
Sasha's all stuck up. Oh, Sasha's always complaining, taking her ball home and running with it. No, no, no. That's not how it goes. If you watch Broken Skull sessions, you understand why Sasha left. She left for a mental health break. She left to find herself because she was losing herself in her character. That's how dedicated she was to her job. These are, on the other hand, or on the same hand, the same people who are saying, oh, Sasha's one of the best women in the world. Oh, nobody else. She's quitting. She's always quitting. She's
Yep.
always complaining. She's well within her right to complain. When Charlotte's on TV complaining, y'all don't say shit. So why can't Sasha have the same opportunities? Sasha and Bailey had this whole situation with the first time they got the tag belts, and it was a whole controversy about, oh, they left, oh, they did this, oh, they did that. That whole situation was cleared up, and it was nothing that anybody was saying. So let the story play out. What is today? Today's Thursday. What's tomorrow? SmackDown. Let's see what the fuck happens on SmackDown before you start jibber jabbering at the mouths, which you dirt sheets and all you schmucks in these wrestling groups and wrestling threads do. Just shut the fuck up and let the stuff play out. We don't know what happened, but if they walked out and they weren't happy with how the division is being ran, then they have their right to. They have their right to. Why are you putting tag champions in singles matches to try and build the singles division when you should be building tag teams for the tag division? If that's the case, remove the women's tag division, have them drop the belts, remove the tag division as a whole, and just go back to singles. Or take the titles away from NXT and make it a whole brand thing again, because it's Vince's NXT now. So you can have the cross brand thing happening. There's so many different ideas. So for you to tell me that I'm a champion, I can't have creative input into how I want to build the division, you fucking stupid. Any male champion that's gone to Vince, whether they liked it or not, they voiced their opinions and said what the fuck they had to say, and they walked out. We just had Mustafa Ali who's saying, oh, you should release me. You should do this. You should do that. He was gone for months. He's back now. You're kissing his ass. They are wrestlers. They are independent contractors. They are contracted, but they are independent contractors, which means they can walk out the door at any time that they want to.
And they set their own terms and conditions as far as negotiations are concerned.
Exactly.
Rob Van Dam went over that because he flat out said, because I've been an independent contractor since about 1992 or 1993, I've been able to live a lifestyle that is comfortable and be able to do what I want and set my own terms and play by my own rules.
Right.
So how can I don't mean to cut you off. People don't realize
top women get that same privilege.
Not only that, but when you become an employee, you lock yourself off. You put yourself in a box. You know, sure, you sign a contract or whatever have you, and there are terms and conditions to those contracts, but there are things that are negotiable in those contracts.
Of course.
And if things aren't necessarily smooth, you go back to the drawing table. You're able to negotiate certain terms and conditions that work with new situations because it wasn't covered in the original contract. That's how contract law works. Like, there's so many people out there who don't take the time to look these things up, but have an opinion. It's like, oh, they should be employees, so so you get the trade-off of getting health care, but you now have to follow certain rules. Your income is now capped. You now have, like hourly limits and stuff like that. So you can't appear on television nearly as much as you'd like to in a given year or a given month, a time frame, or whatever have you. So it stifles your momentum in a lot of cases. A lot of people don't think about the repercussions of changing a person's status from independent contractor to an employee.
Bruh,
I would love to be
just going through that.
I would love to be an independent contractor. Do you know how much I could charge for the services I do at my own damn job if I was an independent contractor?
Yep.
Look, y'all, I already told y'all my situation where it went just from that, just like that, from independent contractor to freaking employee. And I'm like, great. And by
Just
great,
one
I
more
mean,
sentence out of me. But this is the 2022. This is the 2022 sports equivalent of shut up and dribble.
Right.
Shut up and dribble, but it's going to be shut up and wrestle. No, it doesn't work like that. If I'm your top star or your top 5 or top whatever, and I'm the one bringing in the money, I'm the one going to little schools and I'm doing these things for these kids. I'm doing the philanthropy work. I'm doing all of the humanitarian work. And I'm still going and making these appearances. If my value is higher than the company I'm in, I can go anywhere the fuck I want.
You can. That's subjective. But that's another conversation for another day.
Okay.
Because we all because that there's because if we're going to talk about how I'm bigger than the company, we've seen that play out one too many times where the same people who thought they were bigger than the company ended up coming back. They did the same walkout.
Okay.
I don't think that this is
But that's Cody. Sasha's not the same case.
I'm not talking. I wasn't talking about Cody.
Cody didn't
I
say
don't-
he was bigger than the
I don't think that
WWE
this is
ever.
even. I don't think that this is even in a situation where they think that
It's-
they're bigger than the company.
And
I
that's
don't
and
think
that's and that's but that's where I wanted to continue to say I don't even think that they were trying to do that. Think that
Yeah.
they're bigger than the
Yeah.
company.
Not this.
Sasha and Naomi never were giving that inclination out that that they're bigger than WWE. They don't need this.
Right.
The point of them doing the walkout, they
Excuse
did that in they did that as a call to action of they want better for the women's tag division. Point
Yep.
blank. Stop. This we have
Awareness.
to we have to stop being like the rest of these wrestling podcasts or these wrestling journalists that are putting their own spin of a narrative on things because of what they feel they would have done if they were in their shoes. When the truth is,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have done any of that shit because because 9 times out of 10, if you walk out of your actual fucking job, you're getting fired.
You're back. That's
You're
right.
getting fired.
Getting back. It ain't the
You're
same
getting fired.
situation.
And this is coming to some of you who are actually union contractors under a job. If you walked out of your fucking establishment right now, you're getting fired. They'll give you
Hell,
maybe
not
2
even
days.
just union jobs. Period. Walk
They'll
out
give
that
you-
shit. Let me see what happens.
They'll give you 2 days. They'll give you 2 days to think your shit over and make you cool off. And after those 2 days, if you still think that you really have a chance to sit there and make a call to action, you'll be out of a job and you'll be filing for unemployment and waiting those next few weeks. In this case, however, this was clearly a more delicate situation because you could tell it was a creative issue. It was a creative issue. They probably felt they just felt they didn't really need to be part of the 6-pack challenge. Obviously, it would have went into their favor regardless because if you look at the optics of it, okay, let's say if Naomi was going to be the one that wins the 6-pack challenge, she was going to go against Bianca, Sasha was going to go against Ronda. It's a win-win for them for singles wise. But again, as they said, women's tag titles aren't getting defended. This is what they want to do. They want to defend the women's tag champions. That unfortunately was turned down by production. Even when they went to Vince McMahon and had this conversation with him, they assuring them that this was all going to smooth out. Production was still at odds with them. Everybody keeps on forgetting that it's not only people seem to keep thinking that only in professional wrestling that the wrestlers are the only ones that are the so-called artists. People keep forgetting that producers are artists, directors are artists, the CEO is the artist, the chairman is the artist. Vince is an artist in his own right. Like this is all this is a whole company. These pro wrestling companies, these are companies of artists all working together. This is so obviously you're going to always see some type of disaster happening because these are all artists trying to put their ideas or trying to either go with this person's idea or be like, I'm not with that idea. Let's do this instead. It's always going to be at odds. My biggest concern and actually annoyance of this whole ordeal is the fact that is the response that these two have gotten just from doing this walkout. I've heard so many different narratives. It's either everyone is either trashing Sasha's work, they're trashing Naomi's work, saying that she's not good enough and she's not going to amount to anything.
He includes them, Court.
Of course, I include them. I include them too, Courtney. Trust me, that's never being dismissed. Everybody knows what I mean when I say that they're all different artists. They know what I mean. Back to what I was saying. When in this particular situation, you have everyone is either calling these two particular women, saying that they are untitled, they are spoiled black brats, they're just being fucking disgruntled workers. If they can't do it, just fire them. It's once again, it's hilarious how these two black women are doing all the in the world. But when Tony Storm walked out, all of you praised her when she fucking walked out abruptly like that. When fucking Jeff Hardy walked out of a fucking live show, y'all all cheered him on and basically said like, "Oh, fuck WWE, Jeff, you do what's best for your fucking mental health." Oh, and because Jeff's a legend, that's okay. When
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte and fucking Becky Lynch made a fucking fool of themselves on live television on Friday Night SmackDown, or days before they actually had their match at fucking Survivor Series, none of you batted an eye. No one batted an eye. No one ever came on online and gave some shit. When But yet in the same front, the same ones that are trashing Sasha and Naomi, y'all were the same ones that even trashed Swole. When Swole gave her little critic about what's going on with Tony Khan and AW's representation of people of color, y'all trashed her to the ground. Anytime when it comes to black women, either verbally saying it loudly, or they're silently having a protest, everyone has something to fucking say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's these reports coming around saying that they have zero sympathy for Sasha. There's zero sympathy for Sasha for what she's doing. They're not feeling what she did backstage. She's not well liked backstage. Apparently, she's not well liked. Apparently, now let's just go with the allegedly mark. She's apparently not well liked. Oh, she's not well liked now. Now she's not well liked.
All of a sudden, yeah.
This is why I always say, and when I always say that I just want to see better for women's wrestling, it's not only because everyone feels like when it happened in AEW, oh it was me just trashing AEW. No, I trash all of them that treat women's wrestling wrong. All across the board, women's wrestling, it needs to be better because
Yep.
all promotions are being treated like shit. You're talking to someone that literally sees it for himself.
Yeah.
All
I
of
mean,
these, all of these promotions need to do fucking better. Every last one of them. There should be
Yeah.
bottom line. Even if what Sasha and fucking Naomi, their reason for doing this, literally they just want the fucking women's tag division to be treated with some respect. You can't fucking fault them for that.
Nope.
Are you mad at them
And-
because are you mad at them because they walked out of a 6-pack main event? Okay, yes, they walked out of a 6-pack main event, but it actually should make you stand with them more if Naomi is one of the ones that's actually walking out. And
Yep.
nobody has anything bad to ever say about Naomi. Ever.
Exactly.
Say that right
But-
now that you ever heard about Naomi being entitled. The fact that some
Yeah.
of y'all literally went and said that Naomi is entitled, or better yet, now y'all are even getting on her friend. You're getting on Arian because now Arian just gave a suggestion that maybe Naomi is being manipulated by something, and then y'all are spinning it around, making it seem like she's saying she's trying to have some smoke against Naomi and Sasha, and she's not. She supported them both. This is where I gotta say, for a lot of you wrestling podcasters, you wrestling journalists, do the fuck better. Y'all need to do fucking better because y'all are literally sitting here and trying to get the scoop on this particular situation, and you're trying to interview everyone that is actually linked to them, and you're twisting words up. You're twisting the words up just for the clickbait,
Yep. Just for
and that's piss poor. That's piss poor.
They out here acting like Fox News. Like,
And it's a shame because it's like, yo, some of y'all are so-called feel that y'all are such respected journalists that went to college. You're using your fucking college degree for naught. It's going in the fucking garbage. Just because you're trying to be messy with it. You're trying to move in mess. Trying to move in mess instead of holding the facts. Holding the facts. The only fact of the matter is that these two women walked out. They walked out because they felt there's something strong that they're standing for, and they feel like it's worth it to fight for.
yeah,
Everybody's just coming up with. I'm sorry to cut you off, but everybody just this out
I
the
know
way.
you're serious.
Everybody's sitting here coming up with their own little narrative, saying that, oh, if I was Sasha, I would leave. I would leave and just go to Hollywood and never look back. Fuck this locker room. Oh, I'm sure AEW would take you. Like, that's not going to change anything. You think if she leaves, you think honestly if she fucking decides to leave and go to Hollywood, you think that's going to make the women's tag division any better? No.
You're not going to talk more shit talking about she took a ball and went home. She definitely took a ball at that point, if that's what she does.
And the fact that even that WWE put out that press conference release while the show went on, talking about, saying that they had hours to rehearse what they did an unprofessional act. I know that they were trying to like get on top of things, trying to make a kayfabe and make it stay into the fucking story. No, that wasn't it. That was wrong. Dead wrong.
Was unprofessional.
Wrong. Of course, it's deemed as unprofessional because WWE is already a company that's looked at in a fucking negative light.
Right.
Let's not sit here and act like if it was in any other company that went out and said that, there would not be half this energy, but it still wasn't the right fucking move. It just wasn't the right fucking move. In WWE's aspect, it just made it worse. Because now,
Definitely made it
because you
worse.
I
say it
mean,
was
they pulled the TK.
and
I
because they
mean,
said
to
it was
even pull a segment, to even
and
pull
it's
that
not.
Becky
I won't even
segment, like,
say
come
it's,
on.
and I'm not going to say that it was. They said it was unprofessional because of probably they did it with Sasha. Because unfortunately, Sasha has a history of doing this many a times, being frustrated with creative and thus force. It's because they did it with Naomi is literally one of the most respected and most well liked fucking wrestlers. Period. Backstage and on stage, she's the company woman. She's always a team player. You have never heard one negative thing about Naomi. You have never heard one negative thing about Trinity Fatu. Not one, not one. So for you to come out on live television and say that, oh, that was what they did was unprofessional. Naomi's unprofessional now since the fuck when?
Right.
Let's not sit there and forget that she's married into a fucking wrestling dynasty. She literally has backup. She has backup. She has a way to be like everyone thinks like, oh, like the ones that are sitting here clamoring for them to be released, keep dreaming. They're not getting
Ain't going
released.
nowhere.
I can say that right now. They're not getting released. Nobody's releasing those two. Are you fucking kidding me?
They would have did it already.
That's money. It's money maker. It's money makers.
They would have did it already.
They're the women's tag team champions. They're literally, and honestly, they're the women's tag team champions that are actual stakeholders and placeholders on Fox. They are literally on the SmackDown roster. You're gonna sit there and tell me that Fox is not gonna sit there and get on the call with WWE and actually want to figure out why is it now that our women's tag team champions are not showing up on TV? Why is our women's tag team champions not happy about what's going on in the division? Maybe this is something that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that a billionaire company like Fox is not gonna try to sway and get WWE to try to really fix this? You know, you guys came out with all these false rumors talking about they were pulled off of all live events until July. For the fact that you even had to have Sasha's husband come out and even tweet that all of this is bullshit. That all of these narratives that y'all is trying to spin are bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Which goes to show that y'all literally, that all in all, none of you know what's going on.
Nope.
None of us know what's really going on, and we're still sitting here trying to hope for the best. Real and
Trying to
truthfully,
guess.
all we're sitting here hoping for is for the next. All we're hoping for is the next best thing to be worked out behind closed doors, and that they show up back on TV and they do what they want to love to do, and that's wrestle. That's it.
Something real quick. To add on to your point earlier about women's wrestling, when we say, and I feel like I can speak for all four of us when I say this. When we say we want better for women's wrestling, it's not just the wrestling. It's not just the ring time. It's the treatment of the women. It's the way you approach, the way you handle the talent backstage. We've always known that there was a history of for lack of a better term, foul play. But it's crazy. Something I found another article. This was a couple hours ago, 8 o'clock. This is about the backstage reaction, apparently. And to sum it up, it's a, I don't want to just call it 50-50, but it seems like, some are very much like this wasn't a walkout type of situation. That when Austin left, it wasn't at the show. You know what I mean? So it's like once you're scheduled, just like at least do your time and then do what you got to do after. The other coin is that they also, like, some feel like the walking out might have not been necessary, but at this point somebody needed to take a stand. So now, do I know it's true? I have no idea. You know what I mean? But there's at the end of the day, QS is absolutely right. We don't know the actual facts. because we need to hear it from the horse's mouth. Until Sasha and Naomi come out with a statement, we only have one side of the story. There's always three sides. The uh, the two sides and the truth. Now, will we ever get exactly what happened that night or that day? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll be on a special in 10 years, 15 years. But at the end of the day, something does need to be done. Them getting fired, them leaving is not going to solve anything.
No.
Have them come back on and have them prove everybody right. We've always we always hear about how they feed you something and it's up to you to create that magic. Let this be one of those moments. We know the story of the New Day. We know that there were three men who was in the business for a long time, who felt like at that point they were not going anywhere, and they created and they created one of the best factions in the history of the industry. There is no possible way, in my opinion, that you could tell me that you can't give these two women lemons and them make a lemon cake out of it. You feel me? Like it's crazy. But
At the end of the day, it's just like we cannot keep sitting here and like because when I always see said talking about I want better for women's wrestling, I do want women's wrestling, but I really want what better for the black women's wrestlers because at the end of the fucking day, this is our fucking skin color and it's pretty evident. Yeah, we always clamor about how the black men always get treated like shit in the fucking wrestling business. If you think the black men get treated like shit, black women get treated even worse. It just goes to show once again,
that's
black
life.
women are it just goes to show that black women again, even in wrestling, they're at the bottom of the fucking totem pole. And in this, and it's just off this regular social media interaction, and you're seeing exactly how people are responding and reacting and talking about fucking Sasha and fucking Naomi. It goes to show this is how it always has been. And y'all are all clamoring and saying like, oh, they need to just leave WWE and move on and go somewhere else. What makes you not think that they're not going to go somewhere else and they're going to get the same type of fucking treatment?
Yep. We've
Y'all,
seen this with
y'all swear up and down that there's going to be that if they were to leave and go over to AEW that they're going to be treated with flowers and roses. Why? Because you see Jade Cargill has a TBS championship.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
because she has the secondary title to in the company. Oh, and because she has the baddie section, that's the step up. That's the step up of her getting treated, of black women getting treated fairly. That's not enough. It's never been enough. It's not enough. It's literally the bare fucking minimum. Hell yeah, we see it. We always say before, oh, it's a start from what they're seeing in the company, from what it was from before. Yeah, it's a start all around, but it's not enough. You still need to do improvement. You still need to do better. You still need to fucking do better. And that's in every single of these companies. That goes from AEW to WWE to Impact to fucking GCW to fucking New Japan to fucking NWA. It's all across the fucking board. To even AAA. It's all across the board. They all need to fucking do better when it comes to women. Period. But I'm specifically speaking on how black women are treated in these fucking spaces. And the way that y'all talk, the way that I've seen you fans talking about these black women, I ain't feeling that. That's not cool. That's crazy. It's crazy how all of a sudden Sasha and Naomi is so entitled. But Tony was praised. Tony was praised, and she did what was best for her. At least she found her happiness. Grass was greener on the other side. Oh, really? Because she walked out. Y'all don't even have the same. Y'all never have the same energy.
What
y'all
it
never
is,
have the same energy. And
what it
this
is,
is all I
and
say is like, yo, all right.
what it is, and I'll wrap up on this point. Uh, What it is basically a bunch of pasty nerds that are mad that Sasha Banks won't sign their autographs outside her hotel room.
Or sleeping.
In a nutshell, it's like, oh, Sasha's so mean to fans. Well, guess what? If she's not an official autograph signing and she's just out on the street, she doesn't have to say hi to you.
Nope.
Nobody's entitled to say hi to you. That's how human interaction works.
Is
it nice? Sure. Is it respectful? Absolutely. But nobody has to do it. So I really think this is just a bunch of nerds that are like initially heard the reports of like, oh, stop stalking me outside my hotel room, that are mad still at that stuff. So, we get those narratives like, oh, she's always problematic. Not problematic. Doing what's best for her.
Yep.
For her. Good for her. We need to see more of it.
Yep. So, the only thing we can do right now is wait and watch and see what happens. Hopefully there is a positive outcome from this. I mean, like I said, we just gotta wait and see.
Well, we gotta wait and see. We want to hope for a positive outcome. But what I really hope, and I hope that y'all leave after this episode, what I hope that y'all leave with is this. If you really care about women's wrestling, support these women in their cause of what they're doing. Women's wrestling, hell, if you really give a shit about black women's wrestling, especially, support them, like stand with them and support them. Don't sit there and try to support them just to fuel your own fucking show for your own clickbaits. Those who know that sit there and feel away, you know exactly what the fuck I'm saying. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. You ain't get that's as far as publicity as you're getting from me. But at the end of the day, if you really care about this women's wrestling, support them in their cause. Otherwise, you're doing this shit in cloud, and you're part of the problem. I don't got time for that.
Yep. So,
women's wrestling, everybody.
That's right. Yep. So, on that note, I just want to hype up a couple things. Tomorrow night, Invictus. Right? Invictus. Okay, because I was going to pronounce that wrong. Invictus Pro Wrestling presents Takeover versus STP. That is tomorrow night, 20 hours away. Some of the matches are Bougie versus Rev Ron Hunt, which is how all of this started to begin with. Then you got the faceless ones, facing Jocko versus Moses and O'Shea Edwards, the big bad kaiju. And there's also PJ Savage versus Shane Taylor, the leader of Shane Taylor Promotions. There are the matches on the card. Those are the main ones. Go check that out. It will also be on IVTV or IWTV.
IWTV.
So make sure you check that out. Also, which I found that they announced today at Black WrestleFest, the weekend of Juneteenth, Welcome the War Battle Club Pro presents. It will be Sunday, June 19th. As you can see from the poster, STP is there. The Icons champion, Big Swole, is there. Willow's there. Sunny Kiss will make an appearance. Also, POW. All of their champions, their tag champions, their heavyweight champion. And I know I'm not saying, I'm just giving them a general so y'all can look it up your damn selves. But main event, Steve Pena, Big Swole once again, and all the champions and everybody will show up and will be there Sunday, June 19th at Black WrestleFest. Get your tickets on blackwrestlefest.com.
Which is also our anniversary.
And Father's Day.
And Father's Day?
Yes, sir. It's the 19th.
Too much shit going on, man.
There's way too much, dude. Way too much going on. Stretch. Court's asking how you feeling, dude.
I've been better.
Shitty. Nah, sorry.
I'm sweating out the fever that I have, so I don't feel as bad as I did on Monday. I'm like maybe 60%. Getting there slowly but surely. So, thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
But so there was a lot to talk about this week. There was a lot of things going on. There wasn't a lot of there was more valleys than peaks this episode. I know I couldn't. It was in my way. But gentlemen, as always, I guess I gotta say it. It's a tagline now, ain't it? Let's do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
No, wrong one.
Oh, is it the wrong one? My bad.
Yes.
Me first.
My fault.
There we go.
Follow him on all his socials because we gotta rest his voice. He got his tea
So,
waiting.
also,
Yeah,
I have my tea waiting. Number one. Also, please continue to take COVID seriously. Not that I
yes,
didn't.
please.
I still wear a mask. I'm vaccinated, fully boosted, whatever. I'm not telling you to get vaccinated, whatever. But please take this shit seriously. You can still
Not a
get
joke.
sick. Like,
Yep.
I wash my hands obsessively, but I still got it, and I still have to social distance. Be respectful of yourself. Be respectful of other people's spaces. If you must cough, do it inside your arm, cover your mouth, wear a mask, be respectful of other people's personal space. You still can get sick. This can happen to anybody. Please make sure that you're doing your due diligence to keep yourself and everyone else around you safe.
And there's your PSA.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you already know, you can follow me at Instagram and on Twitter at Forever Thiefing. Once again, I'll say, excuse the passion or the annoyance and a lot of the bullshit that's going on in life thus far. You just get tired. I'll just say thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for chilling with us and even sitting back to hear us vent about the bullshit. As always, stay hydrated, stay masked up, stay sucker free, and also stay away from all the fake and bitch asses that's around you. That's all I got to say about it.
Huh. Very good. Oh, it's me. Hi, everybody. It's me, Striker Dragoon. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Striker Dragoon. YouTube's blowing up. Played some multiverses today, which is WB's answer to Smash Brothers. Great fucking game. You have Looney Tunes. You have Cartoon Network. You have live action shows like Game of Thrones in there. You also have DC properties like Batman, like Superman, like Wonder Woman. You have all these different properties meeting in this cartoon and comical world where they can cuss at each other and enjoy themselves. So, if you are interested, I may be streaming a little bit more tonight, if not tomorrow. If you want to play the game, just go on to multiverses.com/en and sign up for the closed alpha. It's still available until I think the 19th or so.
It's like
Today is the 19th, excuse me.
like
Until next week, excuse me. But yeah, just have fun.
that.
Subscribe to my YouTube. Go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. What the hell was that dog? Dog deer? Rain dog?
Rain Dog.
What the fuck is that from?
Original character for the game specifically.
All right, thanks. That makes sense now.
But yes, definitely go get your fix. Tom and Jerry, Jake the dog, Finn the human, Garnet from Steven Universe, all these other different characters are in there. Come and enjoy. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow the Twitch. I should be live maybe in the next half an hour to an hour or so. Come check it out. That's it.
And as always, sorry, had to work something. And as always, I am K Marvel. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Marvel87, on Twitch at Mr. Marvel_87. Yeah, I say it every week. I got shit planned. I just gotta do it. Yeah. So stay tuned for next week. Oh, my bad. You can follow the Four Corners of Commentary on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch at the Council of Commentary. You can follow us on TikTok at Council of Commentary, and you can follow us on Twitter at CO Commentary. And you can always follow us on all your favorite social media or all your streaming platforms. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, iHeartRadio, just to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Stretch, I hate you. Guys, we are your Four Corners of Commentary. And yeah, we out. Dude, we out. Peace.